Okay. In last class, what we have studied, write a program. So these classes, Lakshmi Narayana Krishna Foundation. Lakshmi Narayana Krishna Foundation. Okay. Classes are being conducted under Lakshmi Narayana Krishna Foundation. 3 classes. 3 days of a week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, H0800 PM. Okay. So under my Lakshmi Narayana Krishna Foundation, this is a foundation I have established to support education, especially over programming classes, to enhance the programming skills in students, whether they are studying engineering stream, otherwise +2, whomever, whether anybody, if he wants to learn the programming, he may be studying in 8th class, even though it doesn't mean. Okay. Even the 8th class students, they can also learn the programming. And any parents, if they are feeling they have a lot of time, if they want to learn, they can attend my free classes. Yeah, housewife, like what, whomever. So free classes, 3 days of week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at 3 days of a week. Okay. So in the last class, what we were studying, that was so that moment I told you that how to write a program in Python to find a given number is prime number. Okay, understood that. So in the previous class, we studied that how to write a program in Python to find a given number is prime number. So within this, what we did here, first of all, one function I have created. So in Python, to create a function, we need to use def keyword. Def keyword will be used to write a function in Python. So if you have doubt what is function, so in the previous classes I have mentioned that I have stated that function is nothing but a block of code will be executed whenever you call that code. A block of code will be executed. Block of code means block. A block of code means maybe 5 lines of instruction, 10 lines of even the 2 lines of instruction called a block of code. So that block of code will be invoked, means called whenever you call. So that block of code will be kept with a name. A block of code will be means 10 lines, 5 lines, 2 lines, even the 100 lines. That line of code will be kept with a name. So whenever you invoked with the name of that block of code, so it will be executed. So here, what is the use of function here? Reusability of the code, and your time will be saved. No need to write the code again and again. The code once written, that can be saved with a name, okay, and you can call that code, that is called a function. Okay, for a very specific work, for specific tasks. So user-defined functions are, this is user-defined function because as a programmer, I have created this function. Okay, built-in functions, so many functions are there built-in. I told you that in the previous classes. Built-in functions, and print is a built-in function. Which built-in functions we have studied in the previous classes? So first of all, actually what happened, once write a program in Python to find a given number, a prime number, that moment, so many topics which are related with the programming. So I want to clear that even though we have studied, but so many students, they wouldn't be able, if now I will raise a question, what is function? What is the difference between method and function? You will not be able to explain that. That's why I need to touch each and every minute point. Okay, what I told you that one function I have created. If I ask anybody, like I am asking our student Tejasri, what is a function? Can you explain? What is function? Please.
మనం రాసే కోడ్ ప్రతిసారి మళ్ళీ నెక్స్ట్ టైం ప్రింట్ చేసుకోకుండా డెఫ్ అనే ఫంక్షన్స్ యూస్ చేసుకుంటే మన తగ్గుతుంది సార్ కోడ్ అనేది. అప్పుడు లైన్స్ తగ్గుతాయి సార్, అందుకని మనం డెఫ్ ఫంక్షన్ యూస్ చేస్తాం సార్.
A block function is a block of code. A block of code. A block of code will be
మనం మళ్ళీ ఫోన్ ఆఫ్ చేసుకోవాలా?
a block of code will be executed. Okay. Whenever a block of code, who is that student is attending classes? May I know your details? Kokku Suresh Babu. Okay. Please, can you introduce yourself? Kokku Suresh Babu. From where are you attending the classes? Okay, that is, it is open platform. Anybody can attend my classes, but let me know that who is attending the classes. First of all, anybody can attend my classes. These are very free classes. As I have written this under Lakshmi Narayan Krishna Foundation, my free classes will be conducted 3 days of a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 8 p.m. These are very, but I want to know that from where you are attending the classes. Kokku Suresh Babu. Okay, leave it that. I don't know. Okay, leave it that. So under function is what? A block of code will be executed. Okay. Block means 5 lines of code, 2 lines of code, 10 lines, 100 lines of code. So what is the use of that function? Reusability of the code. Reusability of the code. Once you have written the code, that can be used again and again. No need to write the code again. No need to write the code. Write the code again and again. Okay. And then what? Write once. Once, use many times. Many times means whenever you need. Okay, many times. These are the function means a block of code will be. 2 types of functions are there. How many types of user-defined functions? User-defined and built-in functions. Built-in.
మొత్తం ఆ లోపల ఇంట్లో వేసింటే
built-in function.
అయిపోయి ఎంగిల్ మూసుకోవాలంట అసలు ఇది తప్ప అన్న వాళ్ళ కొల్ల కోసమే అదే పని సగ్గే కావాలని అంటున్నాడు. వాళ్ళ చిన్న ఇళ్ళలో ముట్టుకోవాలని పగులు కూడా వాకిలు వేసుకొని ఇళ్ళలో కొనుక్కుంటారు. ఏమన్నా అర్థమని నాకు ఆ ఇంటర్ రామంటే ఉండవు బుద్ధిగా
Mute, mute, mic mute చేయండి.
నేను కట్టేసి కొడతాను కదా ఇంట్లో అనుకోకుండా
ఉండబుద్దే కదా నాకు ఆ ఇంట్లోనే పండుకోవద్దు ముగ్గులో అయితే సంతకాన్ని ముట్టుకుంటా కానీ
Mic mute చేయండి.
కంది వేలు ఇస్తారు
Okay. So see what happened. So built-in function, comma, user-defined functions. How many functions are there? User-defined function. So Tejasri, whatever the function I have defined, whether it is user-defined function and built-in function. Tejasri, this is user-defined function, a built-in function. This is built-in user-defined function. Okay.
Which line, sir?
106. User-defined function. Okay. So every time whenever you want to create user-defined function, def keyword will be used. So built-in functions, example first, built-in functions. What are the examples for built-in functions? So many functions we have studied. Example, print function, bracket, type function, bracket, id function, len function,
ID function,
print type, so many functions. we have studied.
length function,
So many functions, int function,
ID
float function,
length,
like that, so many functions.
ID length, sir.
So many functions we have studied.
Length function,
Len function, int function, type function, okay, id function, okay, len function, int function, so many functions we have studied. So now come to the point. So here where we have used print function, this is print function. So you are getting the print. So to get the print, we have not used any code here. Okay. To get the print, we have not used any code, just we are calling the function, print function. So it is inbuilt function. So whenever you call built-in functions like this, so behind of that, the programmer might have written so many lines of code. We don't know actually how many lines of code he has written. Understood that? So this is the def keyword we will use here to create the function. Function name, any name, XYZ. You can keep your name, my name, Vasu, your name. Okay, you can keep. No issue. Use Vasu. Understood that? Vasu is a function name. You can keep your name, XYZ, a suitable name. But whenever you want to create a function, a suitable name is important. Here, suitable name means what? See, write a program in Python to find a given number is prime number. Okay? Given number, prime number. For that, I want to create a function. So function name X, what do you mean of this? There is no meaningless. So this function, under this function, whatever the line of code we have written, how many lines of code you have written from here to up to here. The total is called a block of code, because whenever you call this function name, that is what, and is underscore prime. This is the name I have kept for this function. This is the name I have kept for the function. Is underscore prime means this function, it will try to find out the given number is, whether the given number is prime or not. That's why I have kept is underscore prime. Means this number is prime, the suitable name I have kept. So I told you that whatever the line of statements, every line is a statement. I told you that other instruction, whatever the line of instructions you have written under this function. So whenever you call this function, that line of code will be executed. No need to write the code again. See here, where I have called that function. In 125 line, I have called the function is underscore prime. In this line, I am calling that function. So up to from here to the total line of code, from here to whenever you call that function up to here, up to continue. These line of code, how many line of code written under this one? This is underscore prime. This 109 from first instruction, second instruction, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Not these hash, sixth, seventh, while these comments 115, 116, these two lines are comment section. These lines will not be read by your Python interpreter. So from this function, this is the first statement, first line of instruction. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13. 30 line of code we have written under this function. So whenever you call in 125 line this function with this function name, that code will be executed. So what is the use of this code from here to which line? Here. This code will find the given number is prime or not. So if you run this code, already code is running. So it is asking enter a number. So if you write any number, whether it is prime number 37 I have entered. So 37 is prime number. 37 is prime number. So see what happened here. For that, what we have written the code here, one parameter passed as a variable. A variable is passed as a parameter. Parameter, variable, all are equal. Don't confuse yourself. Under a function in bracket, this bracket we can pass parameters. Means variables can be passed as parameters. So where is this parameter? Where is this variable? Here, this is the variable created. So user is being asked to enter a number. So here, user is being asked to enter a number. This is a text string. So that string kept inside of the, in Python, string always will be kept inside of single quotes or double quotes. It is up to you. You want to keep double quotes or single quotes. Understood? But whenever you start with single quote, you need to finish with single quote. Otherwise, it will give error. So you have if you have started with double quotation marks, so you need to close with double quotation. Doesn't mean so both will be same. So this is a string. That string, whenever user requested to enter a number, if you want to request, you need to keep a string. Whatever the string you want to write, that will be enter a number. If you add here, please enter a number. If you run this, okay. So please enter a number. So whatever the text you write here, that will be displayed. Okay. So now this, whenever user enters a number, suppose 15. So our program is what? To find a given number is prime or not. So prime number, already I told you that. What is prime number? The number, what is prime number? I told you that prime number. So the number the number which has two factors only. Two factors only. So prime number means the number which has only two factors. One is 1. For every number, 1 is a factor, and that number itself factor. Understood that? If more than two factors a number is there, that is not prime. This means, suppose if I have written here 15, it is prime or not? It is not prime. You will get prime. 15 is prime number. Why? So first of all, we need to check back that whether 15 is prime or not. Okay. 15 is equal to how many factors? 1 is a factor. I told you that for every number will be divided by 1. So 1 is a factor. 3 is a factor. 3, 15. 3, 15 will be divided by 3. So 1 more factor. 6 is not a factor. 7 is not a factor. 8 is not a factor because 7 can't divide 15. So 15 is itself 15. 15 is itself a factor because I told you that 1 is the factor of any number and itself 15 itself a factor. So 15. So how many factors? 3 factors. So 15 is not prime number. So what we are getting here, if enter 15 here, so what it giving 15 prime number. So it means we have written in our code somewhere wrong. Understood that? Where we have written in previous code. So one by one, we will check that. First one, if we write 1, enter greater than 1. So 1 is what? Whenever 1 is not, whenever we want to calculate prime numbers, always we need to enter more than 1, greater than 1. So that moment, if user enters 1, so one text will be displayed in front of him. For this is the code I have written. If number is less than or equal to 1, if you have written 1 equal to 1 or less than 1, so that moment you can write 0 also. So if you enter 0 also, it asks for enter greater than 1. So that's why this code gives the result whenever you enter 1 or equal to 1 or less than 1. Less than 1 what? 0, negative numbers, -1, -2 like that. Even though if you have written -1, so that moment what happened here? -1. So it is stating why, because I have written the code at the end of this one. Whenever user wants to get out of the program, if user intentionally he wants to quit the program, so that moment for that I have written if num is equal to -1. So whenever user types -1, so he can get out of the program. So he can exit the program because we have used while loop here. While loop means what? While loop means it continuously run until the user wants to quit. Okay, so that every time it asks the user to enter the number every time. So please enter a number 2. So 2 is not prime, but 2 is a prime. 2 is not. 2 is a prime number because 2 has two values, two factors only. 2 has only two factors. 2 has, because 2 is equal to how many factors? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1 is one factor and 2 is another factor. As I told you that Every number has 1. Every number will be divided by 1. So 1 will be a factor. And for that number itself, it is the factor. So 2 factors are there. So it is a prime number. Prime number. Here, this is not prime. Not prime. Why? Because it has 3 factors. So it has 2 factors. So it is a prime number. It is not prime. So as per this, our program, if there is an error, we need to what? We need to rewrite the program. If any, that is called your program is not properly executed. Accordingly, you need to write the program. So 1, whenever you write, so this is okay, enter greater than 1. If we write 2, so 0 even though less than 1, so it does enter greater than 1. Next 2 is prime number, 2 is not prime. So for this, we need to adjust the code. Here, this is the, okay, from range it is. So here I have explained that, see, return false. What do you mean of this return false? Whenever you enter, okay, whenever you enter less than equal to 1. So if your num value means whenever you enter a number, that will be stored in this num variable. So that num variable, it is having whatever the number entered by the user. So that will be stored in this num variable. So that num variable passed as a parameter here. So that moment, this if statement checks for that, whether the num value is less than or equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, okay, it equals to 1, that moment where is enter greater than. This is the statement, okay. If number less than equal to 1, so this statement to be printed, okay. So here, whenever number less than equal to 1, return false, okay. What do you mean by false here? If it gives true, okay, it gives true means return false means that moment this statement to be executed. Where is that statement? This statement to be executed, okay. So now I have briefed that here for loop I have used comment here. For loop, what is the use of for loop here? For loop will be used here. For loop, how many times? You know, for loop means how many times the loop will be iterated. You know, in such condition, for loop will be used. While loop, here while loop used. You don't know how many times the loop will be, how many times this enter number, the user will be asked to enter a number, how many times, until the user quits the program. So loop while means this please enter a number will be asked. Okay. Understood that. So for loop here, we know how many times loop to be rotated. From 2 to how many times? 2 to this. I told you that this is the power of number to the power 0.5. Number to the power of 0.5 means, I told you that number to the power of 0.5 means 1 by half. 1 by half can be written as root square. So square root of num. Square root of num. What is square root of num? Suppose whatever the number you take. Suppose if you take number 36. So square root of this 36 is called what? 6. So that moment 6, 2 to 6. The factors will be considered in between 2 to 6. Okay. So it is this function, what it does, if any number is in float, it converts that into integer function. Integer function usually here. Okay. If you have taken 25, if you have entered here, if you have entered 25, so here what do you mean of 25? 25 exponentiation. This double star will be used in Python to represent exponentiation, means square. Okay, exponentiation of num exponentiation of 0.5 means power to the power. Num to the power 0.5. 0.5 means half. So num to the power half. Half will be written as root of. So square root of number. If we have taken 25, square root of 25, 5. So this is integer number, so there is no any problem. So 2 to 5. The factors will be considered up to 2 to 5 to find a prime number. More than 5, no need to see other factors. If any number will be divided by in between 2 to 5, so that is not prime. So what we have taken? 25. 25 is a prime number. It is not prime. Why? Because it will be divided by 1 itself and 25 itself. Two factors are there. It will be divided by 5 also. So 3 factor. That is in between 2 to 5. 2 is one factor, not 25 will not be divided by 2. 3 can't be 3 will not be 25 will not be divided by 3. 4, 5. So this up to here, root of number 25 is 5, square root of. So by 5 this number will be divided. So it has how many factors? 3 factors. So it's not prime. So this is in the previous class also I have explained. So +1 I told you that for range function, this is a function. This is a function. It excludes last. So I told you that suppose if I have taken